The A minors have not uploaded in over a year and a half. I mean, it's just asinine.
That is what I'm saying.
Isn't it true though? Like, I cannot believe it. It's been so long. Welcome back to the A minors podcast, gamers. It's your boy,
Yeah,
Zach, in case you've forgotten my name. And then you definitely
and
forgot
your
the other
best
guy's name.
boy, Elijah.
Yeah. And I also want to start this podcast off by saying our competitors, A Minor Podcast, have gone out of business. So thank you guys for that support. Um, because we were really striving for that. That's like was our first goal with this podcast was to get rid of all the imposter A minors, and we've sussed them out.
hmm No need for music theory because we all
Nope.
hate it.
Nope. Even though we're both music majors, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm not a music major yet, but I will be because I'm still in high school. But Mr. Elijah is now freaking 19 years old and in college, and he's majoring in music, and I will be majoring in music in less than a year.
this is so epic.
I know we're just like machines. It's crazy.
We are what you would say slaying.
Yes, or you could say sleighing, as in like Santa sleigh, because it's almost Christmas. Oh, I just realized we probably should have like come up with something Christmas related because this is like our Christmas special, I guess.
This is our Christmas
This
special.
is our Christmas
That
A
means we're
minus
going
Christmas
24
special.
hours.
Yeah, 24-hour podcast. Let's go. Um all right. Well, I don't remember what we do on this. It's been so long. We like talk about just things.
Let's
Um
talk about stuff.
yeah, I mean just a lot like a lot has changed and also a lot hasn't changed since our last podcast. Like literally I think the only difference is Ellie's in college now. Oh, Elijah. Sorry.
And
Inside joke. Ellie is what we call him, and I like call him that out of habit now.
yeah, and we
Elijah.
call Zach stupid.
Yeah, but that's not a joke. It's
He's
just yeah.
he's he's stupid.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So let's jump right into the news.
I hate that so much.
All right, Zach.
All right,
The Mario movie.
Mario
Two
movie.
trailers. Um, Elephant in the room. I guess you're not a big fan of Chris Pratt's voice.
I actually don't mind it. I think it'll be fine.
Same.
I think people are
Yeah.
like way too more like upset about it because I don't think I could handle a movie with the Mario voice that Charles Martinet gets because that's what makes it
Yeah.
good. You know, like you just get these little snippets of it, but if he like talked a crap ton in it, like he
hmm
will in the movie in that voice, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah, and it's just like really. It would just. I don't think it would mesh well with the other voices.
Yeah, it like
And it's
especially
also it's and it's also like it would be weird for him to have like that Italian voice when he's like from Brooklyn and he doesn't have like a Brooklyn accent,
yeah, they
which
definitely
is what he should have.
yeah. You haven't really heard him talk that much. Like between both the trailers, he's only had a few lines, but I think I could kind of hear
Yeah,
like that Brooklyn, New York kind of accent almost. Um,
yeah. Because like the few times where he does like a wahoo or the the ah ha 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 like at
mhm.
the end in the cart, like I think those are pretty good. Like
It's
I
very
actually
reminiscent,
enjoyed that. Yeah,
very reminiscent of his of like Mario's from the game. So like I think if that's thrown in there, I think it'll be fine with a normal Chris Pratt voice. Um,
yeah.
but
Because like
Jack
Luigi's
Black is
voice
Bowser.
is different.
Can we talk about that? Jack Black is Bowser, and Luigi's voice is great too. Like it's not Luigi's normal voice, but like it fits great. And same with Jack Black. Like his Bowser
hmm
voice works so well.
hmm
It doesn't even like
And
sound like Jack Black. That was the thing. That was the thing that threw me off when they announced the cast. I was like, this is stupid. Like what the frick? Jack Black is Bowser, but like
no,
when he talked in the trailer, like I wouldn't have guessed that was Jack Black if I didn't know that he was already playing him.
no same. I think. Well, I was always excited for Jack Black. I always knew that it was going to be good.
Yeah.
Um, That's yeah. I mean, I'm still excited to hear Seth Rogen.
We
I think
haven't
that'll
heard him
be.
yet.
I think that'll be really funny.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for like a trailer to drop where he like just does the laugh and that's it.
Yeah, cause I want to see Seth Rogen do his laugh as Donkey Kong.
That'll like be life changing.
hmm
Oh man, yeah. What did you think? So what do you think about the plot? Like in terms of at least what it seems like right now. Seems like
I like it.
Mario and
it
Luigi are getting like separated at the beginning, and Luigi's getting captured.
hmm
What do you think
And
about
then
that?
it's like, I think it's pretty cool. It's different, but it's still the same, which is nice.
Yeah.
And I think it's very reminiscent of like 3D World. I think
Mm-hmm.
because it's like Toad, Mario, Peach going on this adventure to stop Bowser from capturing Luigi,
Yeah. I think
which I'm okay with.
my only problem will be if they like completely just like switch Peach and Luigi's roles like from the games, which like I don't know if that's what is happening, but you know, like obviously if you've ever played a Mario game, you know Peach is the one that gets captured, and Mario sometimes with Luigi they'll go save her. But like
hmm
I'm hoping they like I'm fine if they take it in a different direction. I just like don't want it to be like Luigi's the one getting captured now and Mario and Peach have to save him. You know, I think that's kind of stupid because like it's it's not about them saving Luigi. I think it should be about them, you know, just stopping Bowser because that's kind of what the first
hmm
trailer was talking about. So I think that's what the plot will be, and like I just hope there's some like form
hmm
of like rescuing Peach because I think that's just what all the games are about. You know, like there's got to be at least a callback to that. Um,
hmm
but you know, it'll be 2023. You know, like the damsel in distress stuff is like not really a thing anymore, which I think is fine. I just think at least the movie shouldn't completely disregard that that was what the Mario games have been like for almost 30 years now.
hmm But then you can also argue that it's like that's what the games were for 30 years, so maybe make something different.
Yeah, I mean that's and I would hope that. I hope we don't just like have the plot of the original Mario game on the NES, but like
Yeah.
at the same time I want there to like I want it to feel like a Mario movie. Where like
hmm
and I think it already does, but I think you need to have some form of like references because there's already like there's a Mario Kart reference. There's like all this stuff. Like you can't just not reference Bowser and Peach that banter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm also fine with it because I feel like the characters are not taking completely different personalities, but like fairly different. Like Luigi, he's not like a complete scaredy cat, but like he is in the
hmm
games. But he also is
hmm
like like kind of the weaker link of the Mario brothers. Um, and then you have Peach, who's like kind of the same thing. Like she's ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom, and she wants to stop Bowser, but like she's like kind of like in 3D World, like you were saying. Like it's not like Peach is in danger. It's just that
hmm
like she's helping them. Um,
Yeah.
and then you have Toad, which is probably exactly the same, just because Toad doesn't do a whole lot. Um, and then I'm just curious how like Donkey Kong is gonna play. I don't know if he's only gonna be like in that opening sequence. You know what I mean? Because that's what kind of what it
Yeah.
seems like, based on the trailers. Because we don't see him. You only see him like in the
Well,
kart racing stuff. So I wonder if he's just gonna be
yeah.
like that kind of comic relief until like the final battle. But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I wonder why they even were at in Donkey Kong Country. I wonder if we're gonna see K. Rool.
That'd be
Maybe that would
awesome.
be the end credit scene. Is like K.
That
Rool comes up,
I think the end
and
credit
it's
scene.
like,
Go ahead.
or it could be like maybe you see Wario at the end of the credit, and it's like voiced by Danny DeVito.
That'd be cool. I think either the end credit scene is gonna be Wario or the Koopalings. That would be my guess.
hmm
Or Bowser Jr. Something like that. Um, well, my dog is barking. um, I think
Uh,
it. My only like concern with this movie is like the runtime almost. You know what I mean? It. I don't think it's good. It's not even 2 hours. I think. So like
which is so sad.
I like I wish it was I would watch it if it was like 4 hours long.
hmm
um, but I think it should. I don't know. I just hope they can tell like a fun story in that amount of time because there's so many movies where it gets hyped up like that, and then you have like that final sequence, and then you're like, and then it ends. You're like, oh, that was it. Um, I'm trying to think of
hmm
movies like that. I like Toy Story 4 is kind of one of them. Um,
hmm
Love and
Right.
Thunder almost, but like not quite. It's not like more of the final sequence, but I think it's
hmm
just that's kind of my only concern. because like in the Sonic movie, that's what I was also concerned about. But they did a great job in both the Sonic movies. There was like an awesome final sequence. It was totally clear that this was like the final battle, and then there was a cool like ending scene that kind of tied everything up. But yeah,
I just hope it's not like rushed.
yeah, yeah. I like hope they, because I can kind of see that happening. You know what I mean? Like they like spend the whole time
Hmm.
hyping it up, and then the battle's like I don't know 10 minutes long, and then it's over. But I just thought of another movie of that does that. The Greatest Showman. Um,
Hmm.
it's like it's a little different for that one because it's obviously a musical, so it's more about the music. But it like the whole thing burns down, and they're like, oh, let's just build a new one, and then that's it. um, so yeah, just like that's kind of my only concern, but I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Yeah.
pressing
Because I
concerns?
also just hope it's not like generic.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I feel like a lot of the movies, like Uncharted and the two Sonic movies, they were like I feel like they were good, but there was a lot of like a lot of those movies felt like super generic.
Mm-hmm.
Less so Sonic 2, I felt like. But I felt like
Yeah.
Sonic 1 I felt like was very like generic and not really like I feel like you could have took if you took like Sonic out of the movie, you made like him like just some other character, it would have been kind of like the same exact
Right.
movie.
Yeah. I think what kind of pushed that Sonic movie was that it's Sonic. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it would have still worked like just as well as a movie, but like as a standalone movie if you had like some other random creature and some other random bad guy. But like it's Sonic, so of course you're gonna go see it. You're more likely to see it if it's Sonic. So yeah, I get that. I don't think that'll be the case with the Mario movie. I mean, maybe it will, because it's like kind of the Mushroom Kingdom, just like those scenes is like super lively. That's what like I really appreciate about it. Like I
Hmm.
think it's just gonna be like a nice looking movie. At least I hope so. So what do you think about Anya Taylor Joy as Peach?
I think she's good. I think all the voices are good,
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
I like was really skeptical of the like obviously it was meme to death the Seth Rogen and Jack Black and Chris Pratt thing, but
Hmm.
Hey, what's up?
what was that?
What was that?
I don't know. That wasn't me.
Anyways.
um, Anya Taylor Joy. I think. Yeah, that was one I was pretty skeptical about because like obviously I know they have to change all the voices because they're like so freaking high pitched. Like same thing with Toad. Toad in the games is just like this high pitched like screech box, and then Peach is just like this quiet like high voice thing, and then Anya Taylor Joy has like that kind of like lower like not monotone like almost monotone voice. So I was like, oh, that might not work, but I really liked it because I think the animation helps that a lot, and two,
Mhm.
like I think they just kind of know what characters they're playing, so I think that'll help a lot. Same with Toad. Like Toad's voice, it's like really reminiscent, but it's just not as high pitched, but it works just as well in my opinion.
Yeah,
All right. Any other
because
thoughts
I
on the
think
Mario?
I yeah I don't think any of the actual video game voices would work in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like Peaches is just it's like really high pitch. Luigi's again it's just kind of like Mario's where it's just like very dramatic
Yeah.
and like it just wouldn't work. And I feel like it's just I don't know. I just don't think they would work. And I feel like people that are like, well, what do you mean it wouldn't work? It would definitely work. I don't know. I don't think I don't think they realize what it would actually be like.
Mm-hmm. Like a full length feature film with those voices would not. I don't think that would go
Yeah.
well, like for my ears.
No, yeah.
All right, well, those are our thoughts on the Mario movie. We'll have more to say when it comes out. We'll definitely. Our next podcast will probably be after it's already released, so, we'll see.
Probably after the sequels out.
Probably. Uh, Probably after Sonic 3 and the sequel.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, let's move on. Next thing we want to talk about was like Marvel MCU kind of stuff as a whole, and like along that kind of Spider Verse, the new one, which we don't have a whole lot to say about. But what do you think about? Let's start with Spider Verse because that's another like animated movie coming out
Hmm.
next year. What are your thoughts on that so far, based on what we've seen?
I think it looks really good.
I think so too.
Looks really the visuals again really well done. Um, I think I'm just wondering like what the plot it will be.
Yeah, because it was weird at the end of the first one. Like literally in the last few seconds, Gwen is like opening like a portal or something to Miles. I was like, what the heck? But you know, I didn't know what the plot of the first one would be about really. I just knew there would be a bunch of different spider people, and it was
Mm-hmm.
incredible. Like, it was so good. So, I'm not too concerned about not knowing the plot as of right now.
I think I don't know. I'm just like I'm also pretty excited about like the PS4 Spider-Man being in there, and then Spectacular Spider-Man apparently.
Yeah.
Like it's just really cool to see all these like past Spider-Man that we all know too.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we're getting a Tom Holland one in there?
I don't know if we'll get any of the live action ones, but we I think it would be cool. But
Yeah.
I'd be okay with them not being in there too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind because
Because
I feel like it's about the animated Spider-Man. So when you have like
mm-hmm,
Gwen Stacy as Spider Woman anyway, and then you have like the original Peter Parker. Those are like in Miles Morales. Those have like only been in comic books before, and so like it's more of that cartoon comic book kind of theme with Spider Verse. So I'd be fine if live action ones weren't in it, but I think cameo would still be cool.
yeah,
All
I don't
right.
know. I think it would just be too much. I think if they started adding like Andrew and Tom and Toby, it would start to be like they're not it. They're just trying to do it for hype and not really trying to
Yeah.
make a good movie,
Mhm. Yeah.
which I kind of got a little bit from No Way Home, anyways. But
Well,
I
yeah, I was
think
gonna say No Way Home kind of already had that reunion with the live action Spider Man, so I feel like in
mm-hmm,
Spider Verse is just gonna be more of the animated like video game comic book like non live action ones, which I think is cool. Well, speaking of, we have not talked about No Way Home yet because our last podcast was like months before it came out. So what did you think of No Way Home? Pretend you just got out of the theater 1 year ago.
I thought it was really cool. I think looking at it, I think like I was really excited to see them.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of knew that they would be in it, even with like the leaks. But
Yeah,
I guess I never personally knew that they were leaks. But I thought it was cool. Definitely,
yeah.
definitely a good movie theater experience.
I would agree because I think it's like I heard about the leaks. Obviously, I just didn't watch any of them or like look into them because I didn't want to like either overhype or disappoint myself. Um, but I think they executed it really well. I liked how they weren't cameos, but at the same time they didn't drive the plot.
Yeah,
Because I would have been really like I would have been kind of like sad if it was just like a cameo because like this is really the only opportunity they have to do this. You know what I mean? Like obviously it's rumored that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield will be in Secret Wars or the Kang Dynasty or whatever, which I'm totally down
mm-hmm,
for because when that'll come out, it'll been like I don't know what few years more than that
mm-hmm,
since No Way Home came out, so like it'll still feel like fresh. But I'm also
yeah.
glad they didn't just make it be like oh cameo and they're gone. You know what I mean? But like they were like crucial to the final act of the movie, which I liked. But I also didn't like how they were just like there for the whole movie just to hype it up.
As yeah, I I definitely like that they actually could still make like a decent story
Mm-hmm.
from still having like those. I don't know. Yeah, it was good, but I looking at it now, I feel like the movie could have been better. Like, I
Yeah.
guess I'm not a. I guess I'm looking at it and I'm kind of like I don't know if I'm really the biggest fan of like how this actual story was
Mm-hmm.
because like
Yeah.
it makes sense, but like I think it's just kind of like it just felt very like kiddish to have like Peter just like invite all the villains into his home and just have like that. It was just kind of I don't know. It was kind
Yeah.
of weird, especially seeing like these like villains I was seeing in the like Alfred Molina's like Doctor Octopus. Just like I don't know, it was weird just seeing him just like hang out in the apartment and not be, the villain.
Yeah, I I kind of agree. At the same time, though, like I honestly, I think everyone can agree that the plot is a little silly. Like it it makes sense, but like I feel like it's just one of those movie plots that like could have been so easily avoided if you just changed one little thing. But I feel like that also makes it a little bit more realistic in terms of like not obviously the magic stuff, but I feel like people will be like kind of look back like, oh, if I like literally just done this one little thing, everything would have just been okay. And I feel like that's kind of like what the movie like drives on in the first act is like if Peter literally had just like asked Strange, because the trailer kind of made it seem like whoever like there's no way to change the spell, like there's no way to like disclude anyone from the spell, and then Peter
Hmm.
does, like he does in the actual movies. You're like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
And then like it was just, I don't know, it was just super weird because you have like Strange like being this kind of like super careful about it in the beginning, especially Wong too. Like they're like these super like cautious people about the spell, and then Strange is like, okay, I'll change it 5 times, and then it went to crap obviously. But I think in terms like looking back at it as a movie, I think
Hmm.
that's really the only like possible explanation they could have had to like bring all these characters in, because I kind of like how they're explaining it just as it being alternate universes and not like it's kind of canon if you think about it, because
Hmm.
it's just an alternate universe where someone else like Peter Parker looks different and he's fighting different villains. So I think that was like the best way they could have explained bringing them back. Because when I first saw the No Way Home trailer and Doc Ock was in it, I was like, holy crap! Because I thought they were doing the kind of same thing like they did with like J. Jonah Jameson at the end of Far From Home, where it's just like the same
Hmm.
actor playing the same character just like for fun. But then like I didn't know the plot of the movie when I first saw the trailer would be like
Hmm.
it's the same Doc Ock from the Tobey Maguire movies. So that was kind of cool. Um, yeah, the plot was a little silly, but I think it worked out well.
Yeah, I think it was still a good movie though. It's just, and I just like there are also things that they couldn't control, like how Sandman looked
Mm-hmm.
because of like COVID.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I just sometimes I feel like maybe they could have delayed the movie, even maybe a little much, like a little more, just so they could fix little things like that. Because I
Yeah.
mean, like they're bringing back these characters from so long ago. Like I feel like they could have just put all their effort they could into that. I don't
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, it's just kind of a bummer because I think if COVID hadn't happened, we would have had a better Lizard, a better Sandman, and we probably would
know.
have gotten like possibly a Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy in there. But I just think
Hmm.
COVID just kind of. I think that
Hmm.
they did the best they could have, like with the circumstances. But yeah, kind of is a bummer
Hmm.
knowing like what could have been.
Because it's also, I mean, again with like America Chavez supposed to be in that movie originally,
Oh yeah.
but then then they couldn't do that,
Mm-hmm.
which is okay.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We could talk about. I mean, speaking of America Chavez, what do you think of Multiverse of Madness?
I liked it. I think I need to rewatch it to really, but like I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good movie, and I feel like Strange had a good um like his personal conflict. I feel like was good because like he was pretty depressed. I mean, that was kind of it. He was um just like especially like with seeing his girlfriend just marry someone else.
Yeah.
I guess that would make a lot of people sad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I liked America Chavez. Thought she was good. She was fun. I
Yeah.
like seeing these like younger like actors and actresses be playing these like roles.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice to be like, oh, there's gonna be like a nice future.
Yeah, I agree.
For
I don't know. The thing about Doctor Strange, like when I first watched it, I was like, that was amazing. And then when
Mhm.
I like thought about it more, and then I watched it again, I was like, okay, it's not as good as I thought it was the first time, but I still like
Mhm.
think it's a. I just think the biggest problem is the marketing. Like it's they hyped up the Illuminati and the whole multiversal thing, and that just neither of those stuff really paid off. Like
Mhm.
honestly, I think if they just the marketing was different, it would have like I would have appreciated it way more. I also think like I didn't dislike America Chavez. I just thought like she was more of a plot point than a character. Like she didn't really have an arc, which I think is fine. Like I think having Strange and Wanda was plenty already. Um, but yeah, I feel like America was just kind of there to like explain how to like traverse the multiverse.
Mhm.
So, which I'm okay with. Like I don't obviously I'm sure she'll be explored more later on. Um, but it's just yeah, it was just kind of jarring when I first like when I watched it the second time around. First time I watched it, I
Mhm.
was just like so hyped for like John Krasinski's Reed Richards and Black Bolt and like Captain Carter,
Mhm.
all this stuff, and then like they all died, and I was like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also cool seeing like how like Strange was always like that person who like if it's either saving this life or like saving the whole universe, I'm gonna save the universe. But then
Mm-hmm.
he saved the life of America Chavez at the end and didn't just kill her
Yeah, and
to
like
get.
I feel like that's
That
kind of
was
an
nice.
implied arc from No Way Home. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like it's like the same thing with the villains. He's like he literally said the same line. He said in No Way Home, he said something like, "In the grand calculus of the multiverse, their sacrifice means infinitely more than their lives." And he said like, and not it was Defender Strange, um,
Hmm.
who said that at the beginning, who said like the grand calculus of the multiverse, your sacrifice means, and then he gets cut off by getting like stabbed by the alien or whatever.
Yeah.
But he yeah, I thought that was cool. One, it was the same line, echoed the same line to kind of show that Strange is thinking more broadly and like he's a lot less sympathetic than a lot of other
Hmm.
characters are, especially Peter. But then kind of shows that arc of how he wanted to actually save America, which I thought was a good little arc to have for him.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think of Wanda as the villain?
I liked it. It was it was kind of strange, haha, at some points. Just, but I think it was. I thought she was fine. Um, I don't know. She was definitely like terrifying.
Yeah.
Like especially like how she just like popped Reed Richards' head,
Oh yeah.
especially after being like, "You're a father" or something, right? Oh well,
Yeah. It was.
get popped. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought she was. I loved her as a villain. I just really didn't like the way she like. She didn't really have an arc. You know what I mean? Because like I know like a lot of villains typically don't, but the thing is, she was a hero before. Like she's a well-established character already, and then
Hmm.
she just goes in and freaking kills the Illuminati. Like what the heck? And what I
Hmm.
really think they should have done because um the original I this might not be true, but I feel like I heard this somewhere that the original post credit scene of that movie was gonna be Reed Richards like actually being revealed to be alive.
Hmm.
Um, which I think they just should have done. Like even if they weren't gonna do anything with it, like
Hmm.
just like show that like because they're setting up. Obviously, the Fantastic Four is gonna be in the 616 universe pretty soon, right? Um,
Yeah.
so they should just like they should have just. I think that would have been at least a good way to show like just kind of the power of Reed Richards and not, showing how he just like dies without even fighting.
Hmm.
So, but
That's fair.
whatever. Maybe he's still alive. Maybe that'll be post credit scene of the Fantastic Four movie. I don't freaking know. But it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, it's just weird seeing like these cameos so hyped up and then it just getting wasted within 10 minutes.
Yeah. I guess it was just more of like them, like the Marvel Studios showing that, yeah, we know we can do these like kind of cameos now.
Yeah.
So like, there's still hope for
Hmm.
something.
Yeah. All right.
Um,
Well, that was pretty much it for the movies worth talking about. Oh, Wakanda Forever. I totally forgot about that. Actually, what do you think of that?
I loved it.
I did too.
I um I was very depressed the whole time watching and
Oh
realizing
yeah.
that that T'Challa was just not gonna come and save the day. I was like, oh yeah.
Hmm.
But then I guess now there's a mini T'Challa, which is amazing.
Yeah. I it like is so sad because like it's no one's fault. But like, it's just so sad like seeing how amazing Chadwick Boseman was in Civil War and Black Panther, and then like
Hmm.
you just don't get to see him much after that. And like,
Hmm.
but I'm really glad they didn't recast him because which was I heard like the stupid argument like, well, they recast Rhodey, and I'm like Rhodey didn't have his own solo movie, and he wasn't a main character in three other movies before. You know what I mean? Like it was just yeah. I think it would have been uh, weird if they'd recast him. Um, and I liked
I
how
think
they
it could have worked though, but yeah,
I
it would have been
yeah
strange.
I I would I mean I think I would have been fine with it, but I wouldn't have. I just think I would just like the direction they took way better, like with this movie.
Hmm.
Because on one hand you think, okay, well, like it's kind of like just Black Panther never T'Challa, never really had an arc, and but then like
Hmm.
so you can either recast him, or you know do what they did and like kind of write him out of the story,
Hmm.
which I think worked better because it was one just a great tribute to like Chadwick Boseman as an actor, and
Hmm.
two, I think it gave a lot of room for Shuri to grow because she was like obviously only meant to be the comic relief character, and then she became
Hmm.
like the ruler of everything by the end of that movie. So it was
Yeah.
quite an arc for one movie.
Hmm. It's like she can definitely like hold her own now.
Yeah, which I liked. And what do you think of Namor as the villain?
I love Namor.
Namor, you really gonna say it like that?
That's how he says it.
But it's Namor. That's way cooler to say it. It's the cooler way.
Okay, I bet you say Shang-Chi.
No, I don't. I probably did before, but I don't now because I didn't know how to pronounce it though. But like
I
name
guess the correct way is Sean.
yeah, Sean, not Shang, Sean. He changed his name from
Oh,
Shang to Sean.
that's like being Gina and then changing your name to Gina. Such a good movie. But yeah, I think I really liked Namor. I
Yeah.
thought he was a good, like, not really a villain, just kind of like the antagonist.
Yeah. I I think I liked him a lot, but my only thing was like the ending I thought was a little weird because they like he spends so much time just like decimating everything, and then he like like kills the queen and everything, and then like even in the final battle like there's so many of them, the Wakandans dead, and then
Hmm.
Shuri and him are just like, just kidding, we're all good now, we're chilling, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh yay, it's like they weren't, none of them were mad that like they just let a bunch of the people die for no reason. I don't know,
Hmm.
but I think it was still a good way to I think it was
Yeah.
one a really good battle. Also, can we talk about that bridge fight with Okoye and like the
Oh yeah.
whatever, you I don't know what they're called, the blue people,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
Avatar.
The Avatar. Yeah. I thought it was really good.
That is like one of my
Um,
new favorite fights in the MCU. I loved that. Such great
I love
choreography.
Okoye. Um, yeah. That was Yeah. The fighting in that movie was definitely really good.
Hmm.
It was. I really enjoyed Okoye in this movie, and like, I was I was like really upset when she got demoted.
Yeah, I mean I get it. Like I don't
I
think
get like I understand, but it's like it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Ramonda was definitely really harsh on Okoye.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think. I was kind of like, honestly, in the back of the head, I was like, why is Okoye still in charge? Like, going into that movie. And then you're like, when she lost Shuri, obviously, that's kind of a, that's kind of the final straw. But, I think it was like a good way to give Okoye more of an arc.
Why? Well, why were you questioning Okoye?
I wasn't questioning her. I was questioning, like, why she's still in charge. Because,
But
like,
like, why?
because in, like, in the original Black Panther, she like just let Killmonger like kill and rule Wakanda. Like she like didn't even bat an eye to it. And then
Well, no one. Well, in that movie, because no one did. I mean, everyone just kind of went with Killmonger because of tradition. Because
no,
like, and they didn't want to just break tradition because then it's like, then it doesn't really. 'Cause then it kind of invalidates the traditions if they can just be like, we'll follow it
but you
sometimes, but not when we don't like it.
but you have what's the queen's name? I forget her name.
Ramonda.
Ramonda. You had her, Shuri, T'Challa, not yet, really,
Hmm.
sort of T'Challa, and Nakia, all
Yeah.
turning against it, and then you have like
Hmm.
I like Okoye like clearly knew he was like a tyrant. Like he was like a terrible
Hmm.
leader who was destroying like the legacy of Wakanda. But like I feel like she like,
Hmm.
and I get it because she like never expected that to happen. But and then see she just kind of was, like in a tough
Hmm.
spot there. Like I don't necessarily blame her, but like obviously like, when Ramonda's put back in power, she's not going to be happy that Okoye didn't, you know, help her fight back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is like, Okoye's like her being the leader of the Dora Milaje. It was like swearing an oath to follow whoever is on the throne, no matter who's on the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And like,
Which I think
if
that's just
she
I think that's just a
and
bad oath. You shouldn't
and if
agree to
Okoye
that.
can just be like, well, I mean, I'm just if I don't like the leader, then I'm just gonna not follow it. Then it kind of just invalidates, and again, it kind of just invalidates her, and then it's like her meaning, like her like oath, just kind of meant nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean I get that, but I like
mhm.
I don't
And it
blame
also
her,
just
but I
shows
also
that
don't
she's
blame
loyal.
Ramonda. Yeah, and I think sh- that was the problem.
Mhm.
They like not with the writing necessarily, but like that was kind of Okoye's downfall was that she was like loyal not to the person, but to what like kind of the role.
Well, and it was just weird because it's like she was like insanely close to like Shuri and T'Challa. Like I'm sure Shuri and T'Challa saw Okoye as like pretty much family,
Mm-hmm.
and probably vice versa because they were always looking out for each other. And it was just kind of weird to just I don't know, just to like demote her
Yeah.
just because that I don't know, wasn't a fan.
Yeah, I didn't mind it, but yeah, I can kind of see how that would not work for some people. Um yeah, well, overall, I really like the movie. Great tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Great arcs for pretty much all the characters. Great villain. Like obviously the only thing holding it back was the fact that, Chadwick Boseman didn't like get to fully, take advantage of his great role as Black Panther, which is no one's fault. So it's not even something like I
Hmm.
don't even blame it. Like I don't blame anyone for that. It's no one's fault. It's just kind of like
Yeah,
an unfortunate reality.
yeah. It's like there's like so much that T'Challa was like probably meant to do for the MCU, then he
Yeah,
just couldn't.
that's
It's
kind of
just
like
sad.
that's kind of what's sad when you think about it, because like right after Endgame, it was like the new leaders of the MCU are Spider Man, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel, and then people started hating on Captain Marvel. You had Spider Man, who was out of the MCU for like a short period of time, and then you had Chadwick Boseman, who passed away. It was just like it just kind of messed with the MCU a lot, which is like again no one's fault. It's just kind of sad that that's what ended up happening.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I think they did the best they could have with what they had.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
All right, let's talk about the shows. Honestly, like Moon Knight, I loved. Favorite Marvel show. Hawkeye, second favorite, was really good. The controversial one though is She-Hulk. What did you think about that one?
I like She-Hulk. Like, I understand like why people weren't liking it, but like I don't know, I enjoyed it.
I liked it too. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. When I watched the trailers, I'm like, this looks awful. And then I watched the first episode. I was like, okay, that was pretty good. And by the end, I was like, I actually enjoyed this quite a bit. Um,
Because it was just like in the comics, like She-Hulk was just always kind of like a more like not like it was just like a more like it was just a different type of she's just a different type of person, and her stories were really kind of different,
mm,
and like it was just weird when people were like, why is she twerking? Why is she doing all this weird stuff? And I was like, I don't know, because she's like a person. I feel like a lot of I mean I could see a lot of people just being like silly when they get powers kind of like that, you
yeah,
know. So I think it's fine.
yeah. I think
Um,
the twerking thing was a little too cringe for me, but like, I I don't think it definitely wasn't out of character. So like, I didn't. It's just one of those things where it's like it's cringe, but like I think that's the point, but it doesn't make it any less cringy. Which is like fine because that's kind of what her whole character is about. But it
mhm,
was just weird, and it was also like a post credit scene. Like it wasn't. It was just a stupid thing. Like it was kind of like
mhm,
the Zemo dancing thing. You know what I mean? Like it just became a meme because
mhm,
people thought it was funny. Yeah, I think the first episode I liked. I liked the first
mhm.
episode. It's just like it was a good setup, but then there were just some parts where I was like, "What the heck is going on?" Like,
I think episode one was my favorite episode. I thought it was really
really? Okay.
really good, almost perfect.
I liked it. The only thing I didn't like was that scene where like her and Bruce are meditating, and then she like goes off on Bruce and is like, "I'm a woman. That means I can control anger better than you." I'm like, "What the freak is wrong with you? Why would you say that? That's like so. It's not cool." It's just like that made me like really mad, and then like the rest of it was
Hmm.
fine. Like I don't know why they even made her say that. Like it was just
Well, it's because it's showing like how like like men can really mess with women because it does happen a lot. But I think, and it was like more just like I think it was just like she can control like letting out that anger just because like in real life like it's just like it's just like when a man just kind of does weird stuff to like a woman and then like she like lashes out, it almost just kind of I feel like I could see like men like almost laughing at that or doing weird stuff with that, so then they have to hold that anger in. And like I don't know, like Bruce has also gone through a lot of trauma, so it's like I think it makes sense. And also I think it's like throughout that episode Hulk was just like, you got to control these powers, you don't understand these powers, you don't understand what it's like to have like all this like rage inside of you and just be able to let it out and become this like monster. When it's like, and he like kept annoying her about it, but like she knows how to control her anger already because she's not like she wasn't like super traumatized, and she wasn't like beaten as a kid like Bruce was and stuff like that. So I think, and it was probably just a little out of anger towards Bruce, but it
ironic.
was also that is ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, I
But
just
yeah.
thought that whole scene was like so out of place because it just didn't. I don't know. It was just like she goes off on Bruce for no reason. Like he is just trying to help. You know what I mean? Like he's literally like showing her how to meditate
Hmm.
so she doesn't like lose it and hurt
but it's
people.
like but it's like he's been trying to help her this whole time, but she's already been acing all of it, and she just kind of wants to go home. And like I think she knows that he's just trying to help, but it's just like I feel like it could get annoying when you're like you already know how to handle it, but like this guy is just like trying to tell you, no, you really don't understand it, you just need to actually understand.
But I
But
feel
she
like
kind of does.
I feel like she didn't. I feel like that whole scene showed that she didn't know how to control it as well as she thought, or like even
Mhm.
just be a Hulk as well as she thought.
Mhm.
Cause like she, I would have. What I was really concerned about is like she would just like completely show up Bruce and everything. That would have really annoyed me, because like Bruce had this whole
Mhm.
arc and then she's like, just kidding, I'm better than you in every way. Um, that would have made me mad.
Mhm.
But I think they handled it better than I was expecting. Um,
Mhm. Well, I mean, She-Hulk is better at some stuff than Hulk right
right.
away,
But
like controlling the anger.
yeah, and she can like transform at will and like all this stuff. Like, but I like how they didn't like
Mhm.
just make her stronger than him and like be able to jump further and like all this stuff. That would have made me mad. Like if she just kind of showed him up in every way. Um,
Mhm.
but like I think they didn't do a terrible job of the contrast, because what I wish they would have done more, and like and what I didn't really read the comics, but like what I think they do in the comics is like Bruce obviously in the movies is too, he like wants to get rid of the Hulk, like, right, it's a curse, and then until Endgame
Mhm.
when he's like, okay, it's maybe that's maybe I just got to like lean into it and cure it through
Mhm.
embracing it. But with Jen, she is like, this makes my life better, so I'm just gonna keep it. I wish they
Mhm.
honed in on that more, because that would have been a way better contrast than kind of what we got, which is just kind of this thing of like, oh, I'm a celebrity, and I feel like they could have done both. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like those things contradict each other. Um, but I think it would have been better if they leaned into the more whole like, this makes my life better, so like I'm not gonna follow Bruce's instructions on how to get rid of it because I like it.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
overall, I liked it. I think people, hate on it too much or just love it too much. Like they're like, I think people are just like too excited for like She-Hulk. You know what I mean? Like they're like, oh, She-Hulk, this is amazing. And then there's some people who are like, this is the worst show I've ever seen. And I'm like, this is like, it was good, but I didn't, love it.
Mhm. I definitely think it's like one of them. I think it's definitely top tier of the Marvel shows, though.
I I,
Like
I I wouldn't.
compared to the, like I enjoyed it personally more than like WandaVision because I
Okay.
don't know. Maybe I think I need to rewatch WandaVision, but like I was just like, it's okay, it's good, but like once you get past like, I just feel like the end of WandaVision was just like not it. But at least She
Yeah.
Hulk was like pretty consistent throughout all of it.
Yeah. I think I'd put it like in middle tier. Like S
Mm-hmm.
tier would be like Moon Knight. A tier, like WandaVision, Hawkeye, and Loki. Probably I'd put She-Hulk in B tier. C tier, Falcon and Winter Soldier. D tier, What If. Am I missing any?
I guess I don't know.
I think that's all of them. Um,
Maybe
that's kind of how I would rank it. Like She-Hulk was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but wasn't anything great in my opinion.
you hear to hear it first. Zach hates women,
Yeah, I hate women. Uh,
and you hate the very thing that you are.
wow, I see how it is.
I
All right,
think. Oh, did you watch the Guardians holiday special?
I did.
It's so good.
I
I
loved
think
it.
I think that's the best. Like, if I'm counting that as like a show, and I think that's the best episode ever so
Yeah,
far.
yeah. I would
Because
agree for like I think it's better than like every individual episode of like all the shows, but like not I don't think it's better
that's
than
what I'm
like a
saying.
series. Like yeah, okay, that's what you're saying. Um I totally agree.
But like, I probably would rather watch like the holiday special like 3 times in a row than like WandaVision.
Yeah, I get that. My thing with um that was I loved how they made it light, but at the same time there are like bigger implications to it. So like you
Hmm.
have them they bought Nowhere from the Collector. That's like a huge thing, but like
Hmm.
they didn't really explore it. But like and you don't need to watch the holiday special to understand that in Guardians 3 because they're just going to mention it like they did in the holiday special, but like it's still something cool to know going into Guardians 3. Same thing with Mantis, being Quill's sister. Um, then you have like Groot being adult again, like that kind of stuff. Like
Hmm.
they just handle
Well,
that
like
really well.
semi-adult, but
Yeah,
kind
right.
of
Almost
adult.
adult.
Yeah. I can't wait to see like fully adult Groot someday
Yeah,
again.
it's been like 8 years. We need to see him again.
Even though it's not the same Groot, it'll kind of help.
Yeah,
Because I think adult Groot is the best Groot.
he is. Just Baby Groot is more marketable, but I'm not bitter.
Hmm.
Yeah, holiday special was amazing. Loved it. A lot of fun. Really light, which is what I wanted from a holiday special, and then had some good, heartfelt moments in it. Like it was just a great balance of everything.
Hmm. What did you think of Kevin Bacon?
Amazing. I love Kevin Bacon. Okay, here's the that was like our only remotely Christmas thing. um, here's the like, oh okay, we haven't talked about Love and Thunder. I didn't. Not that there's a whole lot to say, but what do you think of Love and Thunder?
I also thought that one was. I thought it was pretty good. I think I was kind of feeling this after Ragnarok too, but I don't think I'm a big fan of like comedy Thor.
Okay.
Like I think I think it's good that Thor can like be comedic, so he's not like super like serious, but like I don't know. I feel like it needs to have a good contrast to both,
Yeah.
just because it's just I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of stuff that could have been a lot better in Love and Thunder that weren't. That wasn't like that good.
Yeah, I honestly think if Love and Thunder had just been like 20 to 30 minutes longer, it would have been
Mm.
so much better. Just
Yeah,
we just don't see enough of gore, and that's like really my biggest problem with it. I think the humor
same.
is it's good. Like I thought it was funny like the Stormbreaker Mjolnir rom-com parody kind of thing.
I like that.
I like that a lot. The problem with Love and Thunder, I think, with the humor was it was just like they would have a joke and you'd be like, okay, that's pretty funny, and then they would just keep kind of repeating that joke,
Hmm.
um, like or like they would do another version of it that like just wasn't as funny. So like you have the Stormbreaker Mjolnir love thing that was really funny, and then you have like when they're on the ship and then Thor's like first beer to Stormbreaker, and you're like, what?
Hmm.
That just like didn't make any sense. But it was clearly like trying to be along the same theme of the jealousy thing. Um, So I don't know. I thought it was good. Like none of the only thing that like really annoyed me with the humor was the goats. Like I think everyone can agree like the goats were pretty annoying. Um,
I thought they were funny a few times.
like it was funny a couple times and then it just would not shut up and it was really annoying.
Like I actually did. I thought it was legitimately funny when they were like when like crashed in the moon and you just kind of heard like a distant like scream. I thought
Yeah,
that was pretty fun.
I thought that was funny. I thought it really killed the mood when they landed back on Earth. And
Hmm.
then, like, when they were first introduced, the scream, okay, that was kind of funny. And then every other time was not funny until the moon thing was kind of funny. And then, like, when they land on the earth, that was really not funny. Like, it really just kind of killed the serious tone of what was just happening. But, it wasn't, like, overly offensive.
Yeah, offensive.
I don't know. Not overly annoying? I don't know. Whatever word you want to use.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Um, what did you think about Gore?
I thought he was cool, but for sure, like so underutilized, it
Oh,
hurt.
yeah.
Like I feel like there should have been like some kind of like montage of like him like killing some kind of like gods.
For sure. Um, Yeah, it's I think it's a great like concept. Gore is like Christian Bale did a great job. I love the idea of Gore. I loved his arc. Like his kind of introduction to evil was like really well used, and then you just like didn't see him that much in the movie. That's what I didn't like. Um again, like if it just been like 20 to 30 minutes longer, and we had like gore, actually going around killing gods more and
Hmm.
showing him like how like scary and dangerous he actually was, then it would have been like a way better movie. But I think I going into it, I definitely wasn't expecting a whole lot, and I
Hmm.
was still pleasantly surprised. Like it was a fun time, and that's all I really cared about with a movie like that. Like, cause it's kind of like the same thing with Guardians now. Like, except for maybe Guardians 3, but like I knew going into Guardians 2 was just gonna be like a fun, like not completely lighthearted, but like it'll have serious moments, but it'll mostly just be a fun time, and that's kind of all I was hoping for Love and Thunder, and it did give me that. So I definitely didn't dislike it, but it was just there's just certain parts where I was like, okay, it could have used a little bit more. Um,
Jane was cool.
yeah, yeah, I like how they brought Jane back. Um, that was a great story between them. I like how it kind of did a parody of the rom com sort of thing, but kind of the same thing as like Doctor Strange. So like Doctor Strange, I couldn't tell if they were like obviously it's Sam Raimi directing it, so it's gonna have horror stuff in it, but I couldn't tell like if it was parodying a horror movie or if it was a horror movie. Like I feel like some scenes it was
Hmm.
like okay this is like super scary, and then there's some scenes where it's like okay this is making fun of it. Like it was just such
Hmm.
like a blurred line you couldn't really tell. And it's kind of the same thing with Love and Thunder. Like you couldn't tell if it was like parodying like obviously like the montage with like the storytelling, Korg telling their story, that like little sequence, like that was obviously meant to like parody the rom com. Same thing with the Stormbreaker Mjolnir thing, and then they were like, but like then when they're on the ship, like the very next scene, and they're like kissing, like it's like it is a rom com. So I don't know, it was just weird. But
Yeah.
I didn't think it like it didn't feel like that out of place. It was just something I noticed like right after. Same thing with Doctor Strange. I'm like, is this supposed to be a parody or like a tribute? I can't tell. Um, Yeah, what do you think of? All right, let's talk about like the trailers for Ant Man and Guardians. What do you think?
For Ant Man, I think it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like I love Elton John, and so when it had like his song playing, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just that's been stuck in my head for so long.
Oh yeah.
I'm a little afraid that they could kill off Ant Man in his own movie for this
I
one.
know. I think like they're going to. I don't want them to, but I think they will.
I'd be really sad. Like
Me
I
too.
feel like he's my favorite character
Mm-hmm.
in like all of MCU, and like I don't know, it will just be like like I feel like for me the first Ant Man movie is the most like rewatchable MCU film.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, and like sometimes I'll watch the second one too right after just because it's like oh it's the second one why not?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's not like an amazing film, but it's like you turn it on, you watch it, and yeah, it's a little fun movie.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if I could ever watch the third one if he just dies. Like just like oh yeah, let me just watch this one where he dies.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I yeah. I'm just scared. I really
Hmm.
don't want him to die because like he's definitely not a new character. I just feel like but I feel like he has doesn't have like a complete arc yet, or
Hmm.
like, cause Ant Man 1 was like in 2015, right? So
Yeah.
like it'll have been almost 8 years, which is crazy to think about. But like I still feel like that's a fairly new character. You had Iron Man for 11 years before he died.
Yeah.
Like so, I feel like he's got some time left, but I think it would just be weird
Well, I mean,
killing him.
Ant Man hasn't done much.
Right.
Like he was in his first two movies. He was in a little teeny bit of Civil War. I mean, he was a big plot point in Endgame, but like that's still not a ton.
Yeah, but like for that to be his like last big movie is just weird because he like wasn't that
Yeah,
crazy
that's what I'm
in
saying.
any. Yeah.
It's just weird. But I mean, I guess it would also be like cool to be like yeah, I mean, he didn't have a full sword, but sometimes that just happens.
Yeah, I
You
guess.
know,
I just don't
like
want that to be
it's
that case
pretty.
with Ant-Man. I just don't want that to happen to another character, not Ant-Man.
Yeah, let it happen to I don't know someone,
Yeah.
anyone, not Paul
Um.
Rudd.
Yeah. No one but no Paul Rudd. Anyone but Paul Rudd. Yeah. I kind of feel like the same thing. Yeah. I feel like they are gonna kill him, which I really don't want them to, but I think they will. Just because like Kang is like too crazy of a villain for him to like not do something crazy in that movie. Um. But I mean, maybe it'll just be like I could see them killing Hank. I think like it's probably gonna be Scott or Hank. Um,
That's what I was thinking, like Scott or Hank too.
yeah.
I would I think Hank Dym would be really. I think that would like it would make sense because it's like Hope got both her parents after just having her dad for so long. Now she only has her mom. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty dark, but like I mean,
Yeah.
story wise, I could see that being a thing.
Yeah. And so, I th- if they have to kill off someone, my like the thing I would guess or like in my head what would make the most sense is they kill Hank, but then Kang is like unleashed somehow. Um,
Yeah,
and then yeah, and then we have Guardians, which Ant-Man shouldn't affect that like until much later on. Um, and then is that all for 2023 for the movies?
I think so.
What even is coming out in 2024?
I can't even think right now.
I'm looking it up. Hold up. MCU movies 2020. What about 2023? Oh, the Marvels. I forgot about that one. That's coming out.
That'll be cool.
Yeah, that'll be in the summer. Let's see what else we got. Is it just those three? Quantumania,
Maybe.
Guardians 3, and we've got Spider Verse, but that's not MCU. We've got the Marvels. There's gonna be a Kraven the Hunter movie, or is that maybe that's not MCU?
Yeah,
Is that
that's
not?
Sony.
Oh, that's Sony. Okay. So yeah, I think it's just those three. Um, and then oh, Captain America comes out in 2024.
That cool.
Thunderbolts come out in 2024. Blade 2024.
Ooh, yeah. Blade
Deadpool 3. And Fantastic Four early 2025. Wow. And then we got Kang Dynasty 2025. Okay, well. Yeah, that's gonna like that okay, that actually kind of gives me a little hope for Scott because I don't think they'll kill Scott and then wait, 2 years to like utilize it until the Kang Dynasty. So maybe they will. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. I never know with Marvel, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and then we got Secret Wars the year after that. Dang, craziness.
What are you looking forward to the most? That's not out yet.
Within the next couple years, definitely Ant-Man and Guardians.
Same.
But like in general, Secret Wars 100%. I'm so excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, we talked about Marvel for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Oh, and Armor Wars being a movie now. Yes.
oh yeah, when is that coming out?
I'm not sure.
All right, well, I'm excited for that. I think when does Secret Invasion come out? Isn't that supposed to come out soon? Hold up, I'm looking this up. Secret Invasion release date. Oh, maybe not. Alright, well. Are you excited for Secret Invasion?
I think that'll be cool. I think it'll be like I'm like wondering like what's gonna happen
Yeah, I don't really know what the
though.
like overall plot of it is, but I'm so excited.
Well, do you know the basics of it?
Isn't it just like I saw the trailer?
Well, it's like Secret Invasion, like the
The
scrolls.
scrolls, yeah.
Like there have been characters in throughout the entire MCU that have been like that might have been just fake.
I kind of hope
So like,
that they doesn't like retcon a bunch of things like that, but we'll see.
we'll probably do a few times. Like, but who knows? Like maybe Nick Fury in Winter Soldier is a scroll.
I wouldn't like that, like, but whatever.
Maybe Captain America was never actually a person, just a scroll.
Yeah, yeah, sure. They'll definitely do that. All right, well, yeah, that's pretty much it for Marvel. Like, we we'll have a lot to talk about in a year and a half when we do our next podcast. Any closing thoughts on Marvel?
Marvel, good.
Yeah, not as good anymore in my opinion, but I think it's still
Bro.
good. I don't think it's as good as it was. I think it's definitely declined since 2019,
Bro.
but not as much as people are saying.
They're
All
just doing another phase of one.
yeah, well, we'll see. All right, gamers. Well, that was our Christmas special, A Miners podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys enjoyed, give us a follow on Spotify and podcasts, Apple Podcasts, because we're definitely on those. Um. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll see you guys in a year and a half. Who knows?
Maybe in a month.
Maybe in a month. You never know.
You never know with our schedules.
Yeah. All right, guys, gamers, whatever you guys want to be called. What do we call our fan base?
The piano keys.
Yeah, sure.
Or piano
The Florida
keys.
keys.
All right, Florida
The
keys.
Florida keys, the piano key. I don't know. Anyway, gamers, thanks for listening, watching, whatever you were doing. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff.
Make sure to smash that like button.
Smash that like button down below. We are the A Miners, and we'll talk to you gamers next time.
Bye.